Hello, Crystal Palace, and welcome to the Library Live Lunch from the Upper Norwood Library Hub. This is intended as a bit of positivity, a bit of a break from work and the current situation, maybe a way to find out about some stuff in the local community that you didn't already know about, and just to have a bit of fun, something new. So my guest today is Nicola Kelly, who runs mindfulness meditation sound bath sessions in the mornings through the Upper Norwood Library Hub Facebook page, among many other things, and is also a local resident. So, Nicola, it's lovely to have you. Tell us a bit about your morning mindfulness with the Upper Norwood Library Hub and where that came from.
Thanks, Eleanor. So it came about because I usually run sound baths in the library the first Sunday of every month and have done for a number of years. And I decided it would be a good thing to do. I know that people are quite busy. So just to kind of have that 10 minutes of a compassionate pause where you can get out of your head, as in the thoughts, anxiety, or stress that you might be feeling, and just reconnect with yourself and check in, I suppose. And so it's just a 10-minute quick fix, giving people a chance to, just to reconnect, I suppose. It's quite a nice thing to do, and it keeps me motivated because I know I've got something to do each day when I wake up. So that's quite nice. It's helping me out as well.
Self-discipline and structure and things at the moment are difficult if you're self-employed, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm really loving your morning mindfulness sessions. Actually, I'm checking in with it as often as I can. It's a really lovely way to start the day.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Tell us a bit about your background, because you have a lot of different hats, don't you? Of which the sound bath is just one of them. So
Yes.
tell us about your background.
So my background stems from youth and community work. I've been and have worked in education for about the last 20 years, and I've really focused around the area of community arts, arts for well-being, and well-being itself. So I became a sound therapist in about 2012 because I had been working with a lot of gang children, young people in gangs, and who were quite vulnerable and had quite tragic lives, I suppose. And I just felt I was suffering from burnout, and I went to a sound bath on the 12th of the 12th, 2012, and I know. And I came out, I was just like, this is awesome. This is exactly what I want to do. I really connect with it. And I think as well, secretly, like all my friends are musicians and I can't play an instrument. So I think this is my way of like connecting with music and instruments, because the instruments that we use are they're therapeutic tools, so they're not really harmonic in the same way that instruments are. They're sounds, so we're working with frequency. And so anyway, I went and studied at the British Academy of Sound Therapy, and I've been doing sound ever since, feeling sound ever since.
Feeling sound. I love it. Tell us a bit about your ethos then. Obviously, well-being, that's the main goal of it. So yeah, tell us a bit about your aims with that.
Yeah, well, I think that we're all really trying to do the best that we can be the best that we can be in the situations that we find ourselves in. And I think it's really important that we take control over some of our decisions and our choices that we make, and find ways to reconnect with who we are so that we can continue finding that the bestness in us. I know that bestness isn't a word, but and so I really it is now, yeah. So I'm really kind of interested and really connect and resonate with the concept of compassion, and how we give ourselves compassion, but also how we give others compassion, and how we can tap into compassion to make ourselves and the places that we live in better for everyone. Um, and I believe that's through creativity. I believe that's through um, trying new things, kind of finding ways in which you're reconnecting, relearning, um, all the time, being curious, I suppose.
Yeah. And compassion right now for ourselves and for each other is something that we really need to keep going, isn't it? I think it's
Yeah,
very easy
absolutely.
to judge um, under these sort of very difficult, unusual circumstances. It's really easy.
Yeah, and I think as well, I mean, we all do it. I mean, we all do judge others, but actually, we're anyone who's doing anything at the moment is still feeling that fear, or still feeling anxious, or feeling stressed. And so, how do we make it easier for others? And that's not always easy, especially if we're in that mode ourselves. And
Mm,
so that's what the 10 minutes is about, even if it is only for those 10 minutes of that day, even if it's only for a minute. It doesn't really matter. It's just kind of trying to find ways to become more mindful in your day.
mm. This seems a good time actually to mention your new Sunday course that you're about to start, because that's using emotional freedom technique, and it's I'd love you to tell us a bit more about that. I think it's going to tie in with what you've just said.
Yeah, so I've had quite a lot of my clients come to me going, what are you doing, really? And I would love to do live sound baths, but I'm a little bit not sure about the sound and my the technology that I've got. So although it works, I feel uncomfortable with it because I don't feel it's kind of
It's not the same as live,
it's
is
not
it? I
it's
mean,
not the same. And so what I've decided to do is to run the sound bath where it be all of the instruments. So because at the moment with the 10-minute mindfulness mornings, I'm just using one of my Himalayan singing bowls. I have like loads of them. And I've also been doing a Thursday evening crystal bowl sound bath. Um, but what I'll be doing with the Sundays is going back to actually using all my instruments. So it will be the Himalayan bowls, the gongs, the crystal bowls, and percussion. And
cool.
so they'll be pre-recorded in a way that I know that they are, working. But what I think will be missing is the connection with others.
Mm,
And so what I've decided to do is bring in some EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, which is basically a bit like acupuncture. It's acupressure, where you are tapping on meridians, and with the idea that it helps to shift thinking or emotions. So it would be like a group EFT, and it comes from this is adapted by Pat Kane, who is the founder of Capacitor, who is an amazing woman who travels around the world and who has kind of created a lot of techniques for people to use who have experienced trauma within their countries. So where people might not be able to get to a doctor, or they do need to maybe forgive each other because of what's happened within their communities,
mm,
she's researched and developed so many techniques, from Tai Chi to the EFT to meditation, chakra meditations. I mean, it just loads, but they're kind of things that people can bring and use themselves. So it's not about necessarily about client experts techniques, even though those are still important, and it's not going against any orthodox sort of medicine. These are just kind of little techniques that people can use themselves to help themselves feel better.
Mhm.
So I'm using her version of EFT, which will be a group EFT session, then moving into the sound bath, which will be all of the instruments. And a sound bath, basically, the instruments are played in a way that help you reach a deep meditative state similar to that of a deep meditation. um, and you kind of go into an altered state of consciousness. So it's in that state that cellular renewal can start to happen, or you can be quite reflective. And people often feel a release after they've experienced a sound bath. So then we'll have the sound bath, and then afterwards, people will be invited to sort of stay for a sharing circle, which is really about compassionate um, sort of listening to each other. So everyone will have a turn to sort of say how they're feeling, and everyone else will just listen. We won't even comment on what the person has said. It's just a non-judgmental space where you can release some of the stuff that you might be thinking and feeling, and then we will look in at some other questions. So, what might you be looking forward to? And again, it's in that non-judgmental, compassionate space. And so there's quite a lot there, and so I want to just test it out for now to see if that is something that works for people, because each of those things are beautiful within themselves
Mm.
and are quite transformation yeah I can't think of the words, but transformative
Mhm.
within what you're doing. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. Kind of put it all together, see what happens, and then get people's feedback to see if that is something that works, or whether people would then prefer just to have a sound bath or just to do a sharing circle. um
Well, this
yeah, so there's lots of opportunities.
that's exactly what I was just going to say. Actually, there's so many options, aren't there? You can explore kind of doing any combination or each thing individually, and sort of see how it goes, and see what combination works for you and for the people who are interested in doing it. It sounds
Yeah,
it sounds
yeah,
like a really
because I
lovely
think
option.
some people as well might not necessarily want to become part of the sharing circle. Some people might not want to do the FT, or so it's basically you can just sort of join in at those, at different parts of it.
Okay.
I also think I'm going to keep it quite small, because obviously with the sharing circle, it's about kind of keeping it quite, you know, people need to trust each other, and people need to be given time to sort of share. So it might be that the sharing circle does become something a bit different, but just for now, this is what I'm planning on doing.
Yeah. Well, it's lovely. It's lovely to try it and then be able to sort of explore it and take it in different directions. And it does. It sounds like a lovely way to combat sort of current isolation and fear and anxiety that I think everybody's feeling to some extent. I'm certainly
Yeah.
finding it's kind of getting weirder the longer this goes on. I think the first couple of weeks it felt like it's crisis situation, so you just accept that you're in a kind of weird
Hmm.
state that's not the usual place. But actually, now it's been 3 or 4 weeks, and I can't even remember how long it's been. It's starting to feel a bit weird. Um,
Yeah, we'll be shifting as well, won't we? So, like, if you think about grief or major change, we will naturally kind of step up and kind of do what we need to do. And how people have reacted has been amazing. The support and the connection and everyone volunteering, it's phenomenal, really. But then, as you say, we're kind of moving into uh, another process, the next part of that. And I suppose it's how do we support each other through this bit now, because we can be quite tired of that first, got to get everything up, volunteer, do all of this, and then we kind of settle down, and then it's like, okay, what do we do now?
yeah, yeah, that's it's a really interesting point. I hadn't thought of it like that way round. Wow.
Yeah.
Um, tell us about. I know you've got some other ideas as well. sort of beyond this, and this seems like a good time to mention it because as we're all, as you say, we're all kind of shifting it through different, yeah, into a different stage maybe. Tell us what else you had a 30-day challenge idea, I think.
Yes, I've been keeping myself busy working on a 30-day challenge called From the Ground Up. And it is a 30-day peace, compassion, creativity, peace, and compassion challenge. So I am working on that at the moment. And if people are interested in that, then they can maybe just contact me because I haven't actually put it out there and I'm keeping it all a bit secret because I need to get my head around it. So, but yeah, that if people are interested within that, that would be great to sort of, yeah, contact me.
I actually, this leads on to one other thing I wanted to ask you. So I noticed that on your website contact form, that you mentioned about sort of contacting you, obviously with interest about sessions and stuff, but also with collaborations. So I was
Yeah.
really interested. I wondered what kind of collaborations you've had and or are interested in doing in the future.
Yeah, so my my heart is as a community worker, so I'm collaborating all the time with it's a bit of a nightmare really because my head goes 100% thinking about how I could work with everyone that I meet.
Mhm.
But one of the things I'm really interested in doing, especially now, is to connect with um, organisations who have workers on working on the front line at the moment because um, I've been there, you know, when you are feeling burnt out, stressed,
Mhm.
or in trauma, and I think that that's kind of where a lot of the staff will be feeling. And I'm talking about, you know, everyone who is working, so the bus drivers and um, you know, everyone delivering our food. You know, they know what's going on out there. They know, you know, they're out and about. And so it'd be great to collaborate with organisations to support the staff that are having to deal with what's going on. So I'd love to work with the NHS, for example,
Mhm.
and sort of bring some of these techniques to them.
So
So
if people want to contact you about collaborations, or if they've got contacts they can put you in touch with to help you do that, or people are interested in your 30-day challenge or the Sunday I've forgotten what you called, sorry, the Sunday one, I've forgotten. um,
I don't even know what it is called actually. I
okay.
don't I think the one in the morning's been called something different each day. I have no idea what I've called it.
Well, if people want to contact you about any of those things, what is the best way for them
Yes.
to do that?
So they can contact me through my website, which is nicolakellywellbeing.com, or they can contact me through Facebook or Instagram, and I'm on there as Soundbath London. So yeah,
That's you. Now I had
that's
that.
me.
Excellent. Always good to make those connections. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk to us. That's really interesting. And I am hoping to join you on Sunday because it sounds really interesting and
lush.
unusual. And I'd actually heard about sound bath as a thing, but I had never experienced it until your first session a few weeks ago through the Library Hub. So I've only experienced it sort of in the live streaming through Facebook form so far. So I'm quite excited to kind of hear all the instruments together and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the mindfulness one, I wouldn't really say that was a sound bath. I'm just playing a bowl, but it is sound, I suppose. So, but the sound bath is very different. You'll have like lots of different instruments that are played in a way, and sometimes on a live one, I mean, some people have already asleep before I've even got to the gong. I've like hit a few bowls, and they're like, I don't even know when did you play the gong?
Okay.
So, yeah,
Brilliant.
so great. Yeah, please join. And obviously, all feedback and how it can be improved or changed or developed. You know, I really want to kind of get it right for people.
Fantastic. Thank you. Well, I'm sure Rin has also now put the link to your website in the above the comments on the side of this video. So if anybody wants to get involved in any way or has any comments, feedback, anything like that for Nicola, please do get in touch with her. And I'm going to hand it over now to my co-host Rin, because she's going to tell you all about the rest of our live streaming program in the Upper Norwood Library Hub. So Rin, over to you.
Hello, hello, hello. It's me. We are back again. Yeah, so what have we got today? Actually, Mondays are reasonably quiet. We did have our first French children's book was read
Ooh.
out to everybody this morning at 10:30. Every Monday morning, our friend Carol, who is just a mother in the community who wants to do something for the live stream channel, will be reading out books and stories in French. Every day at 10:30 we have something for kids, so I'm trying to fill up every 10:30 slot with some kind of book reading for the older kids. It's maybe worth noting that our actual library service is offering the Wiggle and Rhyme sessions at 10:30 in a private group. I have shared that already, but I'll have to reshare it on the page later today. It's a private group. You have to be a member, and they take down the videos afterwards. So it's not actually part of our live streaming channel as such, because we don't have access to it ourselves. Tonight at 10 o'clock. We used to have a guy called Jeff who did bedtime stories, and he's now stopped doing that. So from 10 o'clock tonight, we're going to have my friend Amy Kingsmill is going to come on and be a little luxury goth that she was born to be, and read Victorian stories and other such gothic tales, and that'll be at 10 o'clock every night, I understand. We have adult book reading as well tomorrow at 12:30 with Helen, and then her kids. Their names have just gone out of my head. I'm very sorry, Andy. I've forgotten already what your kids are called. On a Wednesday and Thursday, his kids will be doing the book readings at 10:30. So the whole family there is involved. And if you guys out there have anything that we could possibly live stream on this channel that you think others might be interested in, we do have cross stitch, which has been really popular, and it's literally Alice sitting there doing her wee cross stitch to herself, and it's fantastic viewing. It doesn't rate as well as the well-being and the singing, obviously, but for someone sitting doing cross stitch, I was wildly surprised at how many of you really loved that. So more of that kind of shenanigans would be greatly appreciated. I'm still looking for performers for the open mic night on Wednesday. So if you have any kind of talent whatsoever, please send me a video at info@unlt.org, and I will feature it on our open mic show on Wednesday night. Whew, I think I may have covered a ton of stuff there. I will give back to Eleanor.
Cool. I'm going to add one thing to that, because you mentioned the singing, but I'm going to give you the specifics, which is every morning at 11 a.m. We're running a half-hour singing session via Crib Notes. So it is on the Upper Norwood Library Hub Facebook page, but technically it's Crib Notes Parent and Baby Choir. But since it's all online, you do not have to have a baby. You're very welcome to just come and join in. We've just started a new song today that we're going to actually do as a recording project for anybody who wants to be involved, so that even though we're all separately in our own homes, we're going to create something together. And then tomorrow evening, Palace a cappella, we would normally be rehearsing in the Library Hub at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday. So instead of obviously doing it together in the Library Hub, we are running an online session. And again, that is open to everybody and it's free. Obviously, donations are very, very gratefully received, but the most important thing is that we keep singing and we keep entertained, and we look after ourselves and each other. I have one other update, which is that the Friends of Gypsy Hill are running a lamppost banner competition. And I saw yesterday that they have extended the deadline until the 8th of May. I seem to remember that there's no particular requirements as to age group or anything. So, kids at home, if you want a creative project, this would be great, or the whole family can do it together. And all of the information you can find on their Facebook page or their website if you look up the Friends of Gypsy Hill. And then finally, we're very grateful to Nicola for coming on to talk to us this morning, actually quite short notice, so thank you, Nicola. We have a couple of slots still available for this week, so if you guys watching, or anybody you have any contacts who you think might like to come and tell us about something positive that they're doing in the local community, or something they want to promote, something that could do with some support from the local community, anything like that, please do get in touch with us. We would love to have some more contacts, people who want to come and talk to us on this show. I think that's all from us. So Nicola, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to Sunday. And we'll see you all tomorrow at midday for another Library Live lunch. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.